All right, I think if I could have your attention again, please. I can't tell if my mic is working or not. Is it working all right? Okay, good. All right, we'd like to start the program portion of our evening tonight. This is the 25th year of the Bethel University Athletic Hall of Fame, so it's a kind of a special year for us, and we're very happy to have the 4 people that we are going to induct into the Hall of Fame with us along with their families. Many of them have come quite a distance to be here with us tonight, and we really appreciate that they could celebrate this honor with their family that way too. So we have 4 people that are going to be inducted in. The first one is Katie Boocher, and Katie's coach was Anna Welsh when she was here as our softball coach, and Katie wanted Anna to present, and our budget wasn't good enough to fly Anna in to do this. So Anna was more than happy to do a video presentation for Katie, and if I can get my technical expertise going here, we'll listen to Anna do the presentation, and then I will present the award to Katie.
I have the honor of introducing the Katie Boocher. Wow, where do I begin? Just first of all, congrats to all the inductees to the Hall of Fame. What an awesome honor for you guys. I know all the hard work you put into being a student athlete. I wish I could be there in person, everybody. Would love to see all of you guys give hugs. But this is at least the next best thing. And Katie, thank you for allowing me to introduce you. I'm not sure where I begin because you're just such a stud, such a great person. But I did want to share a few stories with you guys. Well, one of the biggest things is I remember Katie Boocher hitting 3 home runs at the conference tournament in one game against St. Francis. I'm sure they remember that as well. So that was awesome. Another really cool memory that I have of Katie, she lost a high school friend tragically, and it was rough. It was a rough time for her. We were actually playing Indiana Wesleyan, one of our conference rivals at the time. And Katie came in late. The game had already started. She didn't warm up. Her mascara was running. Poor girl had just lost a dear friend. And she said, "Coach, I'm ready." And she hadn't warmed up or anything. And we actually needed a pinch hit at that moment. She hadn't, remind you, she hadn't warmed up, hadn't ran, hadn't jogged, hadn't done anything. And I put her in there, and it was at our home field, and she hit a ball further than any ball I've ever seen. It actually is in the trees, probably still, in deep left field at the Bethel field. And so just a cool moment for her to kind of have. Another really cool thing with Katie is just such a go-getter. We were down on spring break at William Carey, and she suffered a shoulder injury, and we're all pretty freaked out about that because as a pitcher, you really don't want to injure your shoulder or have any other issues. And so it was really bothering her. And what we realized, luckily, it wasn't anything too major, but it was a certain pitch that was kind of bothering her. So our pitching coach at the time, Coach Abby, who calls her Boocher, taught her a peel drop, which is a new pitch, basically. Katie was able to get it in about 1 week, which is unheard of, just totally phenomenal. Just shows what kind of athlete she really is. And she had that thing, you could see from calling pitches, you could see from the dugout just how it would drop down. And actually, I didn't call a pitch at the time. Her catcher called the pitches, so we knew it was coming because of how good of a pitch it was. So when you can tell what pitch it was from the dugout, it's pretty impressive. So Katie, great job just on stuff like that. She always had her teammates' backs, had her coaches' backs. There was one year Katie felt people got gypped on our team in the awards category for the conference, and that girl just lit a fire in her team's butt, and they just destroyed every team in their way from that point on. And it was just awesome to see her fight. One of the biggest takeaways that I have from Katie Boocher, and I won't share too much. Katie, you were in the room, your parents were in the room. We know, but what I love is the transformation she made as a leader, the challenge that we kind of put in front of her, and how she then took that challenge and became one of the most impressive leaders I've ever coached. She used her authority, her power, her presence, her opinion, her words, really to glorify God and to lead her teammates through whatever they had to go through on the field, off the field. So honestly, if I had to pick one thing about Katie Boocher and that I would want to leave with you guys, it's just the impressive leader that she really grew into and that she embraced. And Katie, for that, I mean, the challenge that I set forth for you way back when was not easy, and it was not quick. We took some time together, but when you decided to kind of, develop into the person that God really created you to be, you just soared, and I get chills right now. And I love you for that. I love you for the 4 years that you put in, the hard work, the laughter that we had, how you made everybody crack up, and just who you are and who you've become. I'm so proud of you. The girls that you get to coach are just so lucky to have you. And I love you. Congratulations. I wish I could be there. But again, thank you for this honor of introducing you. But if everybody could put their hands together for the Katie Booker. Love you, Katie.
So in Anna's absence, I would like to have Katie come up now, and I would like to present her with her plaque as the newest member now of the Bethel University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Hi, everybody. Sorry. Can you hear me? Can I step away from the mic? Because I'm a teacher and I have a loud voice, and so I don't want to really yell at the mic. Oh, sweet. Yeah, perfect. Sorry, I don't like podiums. So I just want to say congratulations to all the inductees tonight. This is so special. Nicole and I actually have a couple small little things that we share. We were actually in the same block as freshmen and got to share a lot of special memories today and through our 4 years together. So it's really kind of fun and awesome to be able to share this with you, especially because we literally started together. But I just want to say that Bethel holds an extremely special place in my heart. When I was going through the recruiting process, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But Coach Welsh was the most aggressive recruiter and started when I was a 7th grader, and she never gave up on me. She basically told me I was going to be at Bethel, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, but as time got closer to come to college, our family suffered a significant loss, and I knew that there was a place that I had to be, and it was still at home. And so one of the things that made playing on our softball field super special is my grandma is actually buried in the cemetery real close. So if ever I had a problem or anything, I could go and I could talk to her. And I knew she was there to watch me play throughout the 4 years here. I just have a couple very special thank yous. I want to thank my parents for everything. I had the unique privilege to be able to play for both of my parents in volleyball, basketball, and softball. And being a coach's kid was not easy, especially rides home. When you think you get to kind of breathe and you got to analyze the game, and then you get home and you analyze it again. So, but I thank you for that. I thank you for all the money, the sacrifices, everything. For my siblings, you guys got carted around all over the place. But even though they were carted around, they were some of my biggest supporters. My sister, she might not know this, but everything I did as a softball player was to try and be a role model for her. And then her and I got a very special bond when I got to coach her senior year of high school. So that's something that her and I can share forever. I'd like to thank my aunts, my uncles, because they traveled all over Kingdom Come to watch us play as we were growing up, and they were always there. They always had something super positive to say. And just all of my family. My family is phenomenal. I love them so much. And I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for my friends at Bethel. Deshaun, Mike, Steve, everybody. Without them, I don't know where I would be today, because they helped me become the person that I am. And I love you guys so much. I really, truly appreciate everything from you. And then also thank you to Coach Welsh. She has done so much for me, and she continues to do so much for me. She taught me more about the game. It's not just about throwing and running. but the X's and O's of the game and looking through things. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much. I thank Bethel College for everything, Bethel University, for everything that it has done for me and has continued to do. And thank you for everyone being here tonight, and congratulations again to all the inductees, and have a great night.
Thank you, Katie. Our next inductee is from the sport of tennis, and it's been a while, I think, since we've had a tennis inductee into our Hall of Fame, so we're very happy to be able to induct Francisco Kiko Cortez tonight, and he is going to be presented by his friend Alberto Villarreal. You got it. Good.
Good evening, everybody. Tommy, does this work? No? This one. Fantastic. Good evening, everybody. Tom, you did a good job with the last name. In Spanish, it's Villarreal, but let's go with the English version, VILLARREAL. That works for tonight. I'm a former pilot as well. I played for 2 years. I played soccer and tennis 1 year with Kiko. Then I transferred to Georgia State and finished off over there, but Bethel holds a very dear place in my heart. We're both from Monterrey, Mexico, as Tom mentioned, and buddy, I don't think you know what you did by putting me up here to do this speech, because I've known you for 23 years now. So there's plenty of stories that I could share with the group over here, and I don't know if you wanted to do that. You gave me power. You know what power does to me. But look, we can speak all we want about he goes by Kiko, Francisco Cortez. He goes by Kiko. In the Bethel circles, he's known as Kiko. About his athletic capabilities and his athletic skills. I mean, we're talking about a person that he started playing tennis at a very, very old age. For most people that start playing tennis, 12, 13, he pretty much taught himself how to do it, and then he ended up playing college on a full ride. Playing sports, because we have plenty of athletes here, you grow and you develop characteristics like you're goal-driven, right? You're disciplined. You practice until you actually achieve it, until you make perfect, right? You know that hard work pays off. And all those characteristics and those abilities will transfer into your life after sports. We were talking earlier about wins and losses, and neither John, Tony, Natalie, or Tom, or I could remember how many wins or losses we had. We remember about the bus rides, we remember about the friendships, we remember about all these quote-unquote softer aspects that sports gives you and that builds you into the person that you are moving forward. So as an athlete, Kiko built all this. We played doubles together, and he had my back. I could look at him and it's like, hey, he's got this, right? That level of responsibility was there. But what I really want to focus on tonight, it's about an adjective that's actually a characteristic of Kiko. He lives it every day. In fact, it's actually in his name. His last name is Cortez. Not the Mexicans. Anybody else speak Spanish here and can tell me what Cortez means? Okay, then, the Mexicans. What does Cortez mean? What does Cortez mean? Gentle. Courteous. Kind. Well-mannered. Respectful. All those are synonyms of his last name. And Kiko lives it every day. As us growing up in Mexico, for us coming to college on a full ride, playing a sport, it was just not part of us growing up. Right? You're in high school and you're like, I'll go to college, wherever, or I'll try to play pro, or I'll just go and do whatever I can, right? This gentleman was not recruited. He was a top 16 player under the age of 18 in Mexico, national champion in doubles. And he landed here at Bethel, knocking the door, asking for an opportunity. Now you tell me, if a person with all the abilities of the athlete that we discussed at the beginning didn't have what Kiko has, which is that courteousness, that kindness, that respectful, understanding, would he be given that opportunity? He got that opportunity. He opened the door. And then he walked in, all the records that you want, right, in tennis. He was here 4 years, he graduated, completed his degree. And he has translated that to the other pieces of his life. Today, he's a successful businessman. He's a kind son, a loving husband, and a responsible dad. And it's because of that complete set of characteristics that he has built throughout his whole life. The athletic ones, which we discussed, but more importantly, because he's gorgeous, he's kind, he's understanding, he's respectful. And the people that flew from Mexico, in my case, I am his friend since childhood, but I happen to live in Chicago, so for me it was only two hours. I will not claim that I flew from Mexico because I didn't. We're here not because of the athletic part of Kiko, which happened at the tennis courts that are no longer here. We're here because of the friend that he is and of the person that he is outside of everything that he did on a tennis court. So as a childhood friend of his, a college roommate of his, a best man of his, he's the best man of mine, it is my honor and my deepest pleasure to present Kiko with the plaque that inducts him into Bethel University's Hall of Fame.
Okay, I'm gonna use the microphone. Okay. Oh, it's okay. Can you hear me, all of you? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to Beto for his inspiring presentation. Congratulations to all the award winners. You are the next generation of leaders of student athletes on and off the field. My enormous gratitude to Bethel University for this honor. I'm humbled by this recognition. My journey here started 15 years ago. So in October of 2003 is when my childhood dreams finally came true. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I asked my dad if he could help me buy an airplane ticket so I come to tryouts, and he agreed. So on October 5th, I took a 4-hour flight from Monterrey, Mexico to Chicago. I remember that it was a very, very cold, snowy day when I arrived. And immediately asking myself, what in the world was I doing here? I was freezing. And my destination was still far away. I still had to take a bus for another 4 hours. I battled the urge to fall asleep. The bus was constantly making stops and in different towns, and I was afraid I would miss my stop, South Bend, Indiana. So why come to Mishawaka and why to Bethel College? I have played tennis since I was 9 years old. I love it with a passion you could not comprehend. I was ranked as one of the top players for my age range in all of Mexico. My drive to succeed at no matter the cost came when I was 15 years old, thanks to a movie that to this day, family and friends mock me for how many times I will watch it, and chant it's a very famous cheer. It gave me the willpower to get out of my comfort zone and try the impossible, and I hope one day it will become an inspiration for my 10-month-old boy. That movie is Rudy. 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 Well, back to the story at hand. I arrived at Bethel to meet with Coach Sabo and NATALI for the tryouts for several days. I was amazed by how welcoming Bethel was to foreign students. You could find students from Brazil all the way to UK. Everyone here made us feel welcome and, most importantly, part of this institution. After 2 weeks, the coaches told me I had made the team and offered me an almost full right to continue my education. Before I head back to Mexico, I decided to attend several classes as a listener, and I also practiced with the tennis team, made friends with a lot of people real quick, and this made me feel at home and extremely motivated for when I arrived for the spring semester. My experiences in my 4 years of college were amazing, both on and off the court. The people I met, the relationships I built, the championships I was a part of. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for every opportunity you have given me. I took with me more than just the tennis accomplishments. This institution gave me a sense of purpose, values, and discipline that I will forever apply in my everyday life. Thank you to my tennis coaches, John NATALI and John Sabo. They taught me to stay humble on and off the court. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead a group of student athletes since my freshman year as the #1 position on the team. With your guidance and my will to do better, I surpassed my rookie moment. And for this, I will always be grateful. To all my past teammates, thank you for making each year special to be a part of, but also for all the epic memories we had together. And last but not least, I want to thank my family, especially my mom, for supporting my dreams. When I graduated, she was not able to make the trip and see me graduate, but today, I'm happy to say that she's here with me and can watch her son receive this great honor. And to my beautiful wife, that she's not here right now, thank you for being a wonderful partner in life. I could not have asked God for another kind and caring person. And to my baby boy, I hope that when you're older, you can be proud of what your father accomplished during his time here. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiko. Our next award is, even though he will probably say he is an athlete in his own right, is not necessarily for his athletic accomplishments, but Dennis ENGBRECHT has been the cornerstone of Bethel Athletics for many, many years. And I won't take any of his presenter's thunder here, but Dennis has, he's the one who invented the term pastor coach that we all try to be in the department, and we're very grateful to him. So it's my privilege to introduce to you Dr. Steve CRAMER, who will present Dennis with his award.
Thank you, Tom. You did steal half my speech. That's great. That means it'll be much shorter. If you look out these windows and look around campus, you see a lot of oak trees. And those oak trees are wonderfully inspiring. They bring shelter, they bring shade, they bring stability. It's a place to go and sit and be encouraged. When I think of those trees, I also think of some of the leaders Bethel College has had. And tonight we're here to honor one that's just like one of those oak trees, Dr. Dennis ENGBRECHT. He's been stable, he's been a giant. He's always been there. His sheltering arms have brought coaches and students into his office to encourage many, many times. But he's always been there. Dennis and I go way back. I first met Dennis when we were both students at Bethel College over 50 years ago. That shows you how old we are. We're old. And I got a glass of water in my face when he pretended to be a girl, gonna bring cookies down the laundry chute at Oakwood. And that was my first introduction to Dennis ENGBRECHT. I got introduced later when we became colleagues here on campus in the administration. I got introduced to his elbows on basketball court, and he was pretty tenacious on the court. But we've been joined at the hip for 26 years, and I got to see firsthand how Dennis dealt with people and coaches. I had a front row seat as he crafted a vision for the athletic department that we now have here at Bethel College, and he did so with excellence. His fingerprints are all over this campus and the athletic department. As you can see on the paper there, he guided this place, this athletic department, with great aplomb. He hired championship caliber coaches who brought new vibrancy to the campus life, and they went on to win dozens and dozens of national and conference championships and produced graduates like you've heard tonight who have become leaders in their chosen fields. And Dennis's vision kept us all very busy raising money to build facilities to keep up with all these teams and what became nearly 300 athletes each year on this campus. He tripled the number of teams because he wanted to have an impact on this community through athletics. But what I've admired most is what Tom alluded to, and that's probably the reason that Dennis deserves to be in the Athletic Hall of Fame. It's the way in which he guided the formation of an athletic culture where coaches became pastors in the spiritual formation of the individuals who competed on their teams. This is the very core of the Bethel athletic program, and it's greatly responsible to Dennis Engbrecht and his vision. It's an influence that none of us can ever thank him for. This was his life. It was never a job. Dennis was here late nights, early mornings. Carla had to put up with a lot. But this place wouldn't be what it is without Dr. Dennis Engbrecht, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So would you congratulate Dr. Dennis Engbrecht? Turn around, you get a good picture here, buddy.
Yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't let me hold that very long anyway. Most things slipped through my hands whenever I was on the court. In the words of Henry VIII to his seventh wife, this won't last long. Nobody comes to a Hall of Fame induction to hear speeches, but sometimes you're forced to. I think it's kind of neat that you can stand anywhere up here and have one of these guys' name on your face. I'm Kiko, I'm Francisco. I want to just thank the members of the Hall of Fame for inducting the least athletic person ever inducted into the Bethel Hall of Fame. But seriously, I'm grateful for the job that you do. Maybe in handball, that's about it. And I want to also thank the coaches. I have a special place in my heart for coaches. I see coaches that have been coaching for years and years, Tony. And then I see a coach over there that's just beginning his career coaching in tennis. And it's coaches who have made the difference in so many lives, as you have heard tonight and we'll hear even a little bit later. I remember the very first year I was here, Homer Drew had been coaching the basketball team, and he decided that it was time for him to move on. And he didn't move very far first time. He only went to IUSB, and boy, those games were intense when we played them. But it was necessary to find a coach, to find another coach. And we were interviewing a candidate. I was pretty impressed with this candidate. And I asked him, I said, if you weren't coaching, which he had been doing for the previous decade, I said, what would you be doing? He said, I'd be a pastor. We hired him. His name is Mike Lightfoot. And that concept always stuck with me, because I think what gives me the greatest deal of pleasure is to know that Bethel hires coaches who are shepherds, who invest themselves in the lives of their athletes beyond just the practice court and field, beyond the arena in which they participate, but who really care about them. Now, that doesn't mean that these coaches don't get in your face, right, Katie? Yeah. But they also get in your heart. And that's so important, because after you leave the softball field, the tennis court, the athletic competition, your body begins to change, your abilities aren't the same, but the character that you have developed through the transformational power of Jesus Christ makes a whole world of difference. In fact, it makes a difference for eternity. And so being involved at Bethel College in the athletic program means being totally involved, being affected as a whole person, not just physically, but mentally, socially, and spiritually, much the same way Christ was, as he's described in Luke 2:52 as a 12-year-old lad. He grew in stature and wisdom and favor with man and God. I'm grateful for my family. You have to understand that for my family, Bethel athletic events were a family event. My daughter was 4 years old. She's here tonight. She was out there in a little cheerleader uniform at basketball games, cheering on the team, almost getting run over by the referee in the process. My son, Aaron, who's here tonight, was just a grade school kid with his statistic book over there, recording every foul, every assist, every point that was scored. This was something that, well, it was our family night out. And it's because we got a chance to see young men and women engage in something that they really loved, encouraged and coached and mentored by coaches who wanted to make a difference. And to you, I tip my hats, coaches, athletes, because you all are in God's Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Nicole Peterson, and she is going to be presented to you by her track coach and our new athletic director in 7 days, Mr. Tony NATALI.
I really get tired of lowering this mic every year. Is this working? Yeah, one of these years I'm not going to have to lower that. I'm going to wear my wife's heels and we'll be in good shape. First of all, before we move on, we got to take a minute to recognize Dr. Tom VISKER. This is, like he said, he's finishing up his role as the AD, but he's done a phenomenal job, and we just got to recognize him. So please give him a round of applause. Second, I want to thank Andrew Bowen, because he doesn't know this yet, but he's going to be here, years to come. And since I'm going to be the AD, if anybody else does a video, I have no idea how to run that thing. So I'm really glad Andrew's going to be here. So I thank you for coming, Andrew. Thank you. If you look at this, Nicole Arnold Peterson, there's a lot of cool things on there. 7-time NAI All-American. I mean, on the women's side, that's not been repeated. So that's pretty high. Set the bar pretty high. 2-time NAI Scholar Athlete, led the women's team to their first 4 national championships as a team. I mean, she was very instrumental in doing that. 3-time athlete of the meet. I mean, you can read all that stuff. It's really cool stuff. Just a couple things. She was a 7-time NAI All-American. One of those really is mine, though I want to make sure she understands that, because we were at Spire Center in Ohio one year, and I was down there writing every mark down like I do all the time, and she finished 3rd. So I congratulated her, went with Coach Summers, went upstairs, grabbed something to eat, and I hear the announcement come on. They say, hey, women's discus, here's 8th place, 7th place, and they kept going through it, and I'd never heard Nicole's name. So I just put my fork down, and Coach Summers finished my food, and then I went to the lady who's in charge of the NAI, and I said, I think you made a mistake. And I told her what it was, and she said, well, it's $100 to appeal. And Dr. ENGBRECHT doesn't know this because this is out of the track budget, but it was $100 to appeal. And I told her, I said, I'm so confident I'm right. I'm not going to give you $100 because I don't have it on me right now, but I'll pay you $200 if I'm wrong. And I had Dennis's phone number in my phone ready to call him. And so she went up and she looked, she came back down, she said, no, you're right, she's 3rd. So that was mine, just so you know that. The other story I got on Nicole real quick, this just tells you what kind of person she is. All this athletic stuff's awesome, academic, All-American, those are great things, but she's just such a great individual and just so Christ-centered and just a giving individual. We were at Nationals one time, and I can't even remember what city I'm in, but I'm in the hotel room and just kind of hanging out at the end of the day, and Coach Summers and I were talking, and she comes to my room with a bunch of the other girls, and she's like, Coach, we got you a gift. And I'm thinking, oh, this is so nice of her. She's Christ-centered and doing everything the right way. This is going to be a great gift. I can't wait to see what it is. And she walks in, and she has a pair of socks that could probably fit her kids there at the table. And she gives them to me, and she says, we kind of make fun of you because your socks are always messed up because the part in the back is so high up. So we got you a pair of socks that'll actually fit you. I've never forgiven you for that. We still nominated you for this, but that's okay. But seriously, you know, Nicole represents everything that we want a student athlete to be. And like Dr. VISKER said, I'll be coming in as the AD here, coming in pretty soon. But as I look at the people that are being inducted today, man, I mean, that's what we want with our student athletes moving forward. We're so excited about the future, but tonight we're here to recognize these four. Congratulations to the rest of the inductees. But so it's my honor to introduce Nicole Arnold Peterson.
Thanks, Coach. And I just want to say the socks were definitely a gift in love, so. But I'm extremely honored and blessed to be receiving this award. God is so good and has blessed me immensely in so many ways. I know that God has had a hand in an aspect of every aspect of my life to bring me where I am today. He gave me all the abilities and the talents that I have had, and I cannot take any of the credit. He opened the doors for me to come to Bethel and allowed me to play volleyball and throw for track. I'm so thankful to all of the people that God has placed in my life to push and support me. First, my parents were a huge support for me. They made so many sacrifices. Thanks, buddy. They made so many sacrifices to allow me to pursue all of my sports growing up. My dad was the reason I went out for track my junior year of high school. I always thought I would play softball in college, but God had other plans. My dad constantly believed in me and taught me so many things about working hard and about the actual throwing technique. I always went to him when I needed a little encouragement, confidence, or sugar. My coaches hated it when I would go drink sweet tea or eat a candy bar right before throwing, but it seemed to work. I'm thankful to Coach Reininga for allowing me to be a part of the amazing volleyball program that I had so much fun with. I'm extremely thankful to Coach NATALI for allowing me to be a part of the amazing track program. The program itself is a testimony to what working hard and putting Christ first will do to bring glory to God. I'm thankful to all the amazing coaches that I was able to work with, including my incredible throwing coaches that gave me so much wisdom and guidance throughout the years. Even without a track or a fields to throw in, we were blessed with so much success. For my first couple years, it was an adventure to figure out where we could practice throwing. Sometimes we went to the middle school, other times we went to a park, and we even went to a team member's house and threw across the street into a cornfield. Don't worry, we made sure it was safe. We had people posted on either side looking out for cars. But maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I'm not sure Coach NATALI knows that we did that. It was fun talking with other athletes while warming up at nationals who had state-of-the-art practice fields and telling them that we threw in cornfields. The look on their faces were priceless, but it was even more fun when we beat them. I still remember my first time receiving an All-American status at NAIA Indoor Nationals. I got the flu and felt miserable right before my turn to throw. I ended up getting a personal record and received All-American. I immediately ran to the bathroom and threw up. I knew right then and there that none of my accomplishments were because of me. God had given me all the abilities and the awards that I received. I had so much fun throughout college being a part of two amazing teams, and the relationships I built were incredible. I met my amazing husband, Ian, while I was at Bethel, and I'm so thankful to him for all of his support and encouragement, too. He is such a rock for our family and constantly challenges me to be better and grow in our faith daily. God has blessed us beyond measure. We have two amazing boys that I am so incredibly thankful for, and I'm excited to see what God has in store for all of us in the future. Thank you.
So after we finish up here, each of the nominees tonight, they have a plaque they can take home with them, and then the large plaques that you saw presented up here will actually get posted in our Hall of Fame across the street in the White Camp Athletics Center. We also, for the families and for the inductees, we have our backdrop over there for any photo opportunities you'd like to do with your families, with your awards and so forth, so please take advantage of those too if you will. I'm going to ask Coach NATALI to come back up here and ask him to close us in prayer, and then we can all be on our way.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for a special night. We thank you where we could just celebrate the accomplishments of these folks. And just more importantly, we celebrate you. We're so thankful that you're so involved in our lives and that we just center our lives and our programs around you. We're so thankful for Bethel University and what it stands for. And just that we have the blessing and the honor to be able to coach here and just be involved in these kids' lives. We thank you daily for that. We look forward to what you got planned in the future. We can't wait to see you work and how you're going to continue to act in these kids' lives. Just continue to be the center of everything we do, and we know as long as we do that, that we will succeed. Again, thank you for everything. Thanks for the honor of these folks being inducted tonight. Help us to enjoy the rest of the evening that you blessed us with. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Enjoy the rest of the night.